How do people shop in Oman? Long before anyone invented customer segmentation, before buyer personas, and before behavioral prediction algorithms, Oman already had something better. A social structure. Complex, strong, as old as the Al Hajar Mountains, and that structure still decides what is worth buying, and from whom. Key elements of this structure. Family. They decide together, buy together, judge together. Tribe. A recommendation from inside the tribe is worth gold. Neighborhood. A brand's good name depends on what people at the mosque say, not what Instagram says. Lineage. Tradition and genealogy influence purchase loyalty. In Oman, you don't buy just for yourself. You buy for the whole social system around you. That's why advertising that talks only to you feels foreign. But an ad that shows 3 generations at one table works like magic. Example: a home appliance brand wanted to launch a new blender. Dubai version: modern kitchen, modern woman, smoothie, slogan, your moment of pleasure. Omani version: a grandfather making date milk for his granddaughter. A mother mixing cake batter with her daughter. Tagline: for the ones we love, every single day. Result: the campaign only worked in the Omani version. The first one was seen as too selfish. Who really makes the decision? In Omani homes, a purchase decision is a process. A child sees something, ad, YouTube. Asks the mother, is it halal? Is it good? The mother asks the father. The father calls a cousin who knows someone at the company. The family holds an informal vote. If everything checks out, they go buy, but only from a shop whose owner they know, and that's exactly why advertising must build trust, not just attractiveness. It has to convince the whole social network, not just a target group. It has to fit the rhythm of life, not a pre-drawn customer journey. Brands that succeed in Oman don't target demographics. They target emotional family constellations. Examples? Example 1. Laundry detergent TV spot. 3 generations of women, grandmother, mother, granddaughter, doing laundry together. No dialogue. Just silence, loud music, a smile, the glow of a perfectly clean white abaya. Tagline: not just cleanliness. Heritage. Effect: a hit in the Ad Dakilia region. The detergent sells better than in neighboring markets. Example 2. Telecom. Instead of gigabytes and download speed, the campaign shows a father calling his daughter who studies abroad. A grandfather learning to use his phone to listen to Quran recitation. Tagline: connected to what matters. The numbers back it up. A 2024 study by Oman Daily Observer found 84% say they consult purchases with their family. 71% feel ads aimed at individuals are pushy or strange. 67% say a recommendation from a relative matters more than a discount. The conclusion for marketers is clear. In Oman, you don't win with a discount. You win with social acceptance. How do you speak to a community? Show several generations. Don't use the language of competition. Instead of buy, use share, take care of, invite. Tap into family memories, local rituals, stories. Use local voices, not just faces. Because in Oman, a face can persuade, but a voice builds a bond. A quick lesson from an Omani street. You ask someone at Mutra Souk, why do you buy dates from this stall? Answer: because this man knew my grandfather, and his father, and his father. That's enough. That's marketing in Oman. Not branding, not storytelling, just memory, bond, respect. And advertising? It simply has to not disturb that bond. In Oman, nobody invents ads. They are born from culture, from silence, from responsibility towards the ancestors. In the Western world, a campaign is built by a team: copywriter, designer, strategist, client, and influencer. In Oman, a poet, an imam, and a local community leader, and sometimes a grandfather. And surprisingly, it works. Because here, advertising cannot be detached from truth, from responsibility, from values. The moral function of advertising. In Omani tradition, words carry spiritual weight. A word can heal, but it can also wound. It can build trust, or destroy the reputation of an entire family. Which is why advertising, as a form of public speech, is bound by moral norms. And it's not just about the law. It's about the ethics of silence, of restraint, of words that have to earn the right to be spoken. How is a campaign created? A ritual, not a brainstorm. It starts with a prayer or a consultation with an imam. Can we say this product brings happiness? Is the word perfection reserved for God? A slogan is created, but not in PowerPoint. It's often written by a poet or a Quran teacher. The wording has to be pure, rhythmic, natural, calm. The script is developed with local authorities and elders. Can a woman speak in the commercial? If yes, in what context? Can a man smile, or should he be serious? The commercial is often filmed with real families, not actors. Why? An actor can play emotions. A customer can tell they're not real. Example? In 2022, an ad for a local perfume brand was produced. Low budget. Tools, phone, camera, tripod, and the local community. Storyline? A man sits in the desert. He looks at the sky. After long seconds of silence, he speaks one sentence. Scent is memory, and memory is identity. The logo appears only at the end, on a beige background. The ad went viral in Oman, but nowhere else, because only here the audience understood that language, that rhythm, that silence. The role of women in advertising, subtle but strong. Contrary to stereotypes, women are present in Omani advertising, but not as visual objects, as pillars of the story. Women often write copy. Their voices are used as voiceovers, quiet, warm, calm. A woman's presence in the frame must have clear meaning, as mother, carer, guardian of tradition. Example? A commercial for a girls' school in Nizwa. In the leading roles, a grandmother remembering times when women couldn't study, and a granddaughter who now studies computer science. Zero slogans, just silence and a story. Why does traditional advertising work? A 2023 Oman Observer survey found 91% of Omanis believe ads should respect religious and family values. 76% trust commercials featuring local people more than celebrities. 83% respond positively to ads that don't force emotions, but move them with authenticity. Remember, in Oman, if an ad offends the local community, religious leaders, women, or children, it's not just the company that bears the shame. The whole team does, and their families. That's why no one just comes up with an ad. They create it together. And with humility, if you want to advertise in Oman, be ready for this. You won't make a spot in 2 days. You won't build a campaign on clickbait. You won't gain anything from a loud entrance. But if you enter quietly, respectfully, with a genuine message, people will remember it. Customers will trust you. The brand will survive generations. Because in Oman advertising doesn't sell, advertising serves. Not only business or local communities, but the state as well. While other countries build sharp messaging, Oman invites you into nature and calm. And in that silence, you discover the most beautiful branding there is. Presence without pressure. Tourism as national branding. Oman doesn't have a Burj Khalifa. It doesn't have the biggest water park. It doesn't host world megastar concerts. And yet, it attracts more and more tourists. Why? Because Oman doesn't sell attractions. Oman sells a feeling of peace, safety, desert, sea, silence. A feeling you will never experience in Dubai. In 2010, Oman launched its first major promotion campaign, a spot with no words, just sounds of nature, the ocean, Bedouin singing, shots of women in abayas, men carrying water, children looking at the mountains. Logo? Tiny. Tagline? Beauty has an address. It's Oman. That was all. And it was enough. The goal wasn't get likes. The goal was leave a trace. And it worked. The campaign reached over 100 million people without a massive budget. Instead of foreign creative agencies, local artists, tribes, and musicians were involved. Everything built on one rule: no special effects, no pressure. Just Oman as it is. In international narratives, Oman is shown as a country of neutrality, mediating in talks between the US and Iran, a country of peace, free from internal conflict, a country of religious harmony, Ibadis, Sunnis, and Shias living without friction. And exactly this image of a state of reason, silence, and class has become its biggest asset in tourism and branding strategy. Its soft power, Omani style, no noisy conferences, no shouting, just presence that leaves an impression. In Oman, they don't promote hotels. They promote a way of life, a rhythm, balance. Tourism brands don't push the SPA. They show the desert at dusk. No all-inclusive packages. An invitation for coffee at a local family's home instead. Example? A campaign for the Dhofar region, not a billboard, not a TV spot, but an incense and storytelling festival. Journalists were invited, not influencers. Result? Features in National Geographic, BBC, France, 24. Authenticity as strategy. While other countries fight for the tourist, like for a like, Oman waits. It doesn't sell itself. It lets itself be discovered. National brands must follow 3 rules. Truth, nothing may be exaggerated. Dignity, no tourist-only gimmicks. Culture, everything must speak about Oman, not about Western lifestyle. Lessons for marketers and states, Oman proves that. You don't need a huge budget to build a strong image. You don't need to attract everyone, only the right ones. A country's advertising is not a show, but a mood that you can recall years later. Now, let's meet Omani influencers. What does influencer mean in a country that values anonymity? In Western terms, an influencer is someone who builds reach, moves fast, loudly, visibly. Their face sells everything, from toothbrushes to mortgages. In Oman, the very concept is alien, and even risky. Showing yourself for attention is seen with suspicion. Oman doesn't have influencers. It has influential people. And that's a huge difference. Who has influence in Oman? Religious leaders, imams, religious teachers, moral authority. When they recommend something, it's not product placement. It's an ethical endorsement. Doctors, teachers, poets. Their presence in a campaign raises credibility. They don't advertise. They lend support as trusted public figures. Community women, older women leading local associations and educational groups. Their influence is based on relationships, not a feed. Tribal families. If the head of a tribe uses a given product, the entire community will notice. No words necessary, just being seen with it. Why doesn't the celebrity influencer model work? Example, a famous Saudi influencer promoted a luxury watch brand in Oman. Styling, very modern, deep neckline, heavy makeup. Slogan, you deserve more, you deserve this watch. Result, criticism on social media. No sales impact, campaign withdrawn. Reason? Deserving luxury was considered culturally unacceptable. The style clashed with moral and aesthetic codes. When does it work? When influence doesn't look like advertising. Example from 2023, a local doctor in Muscat posted on WhatsApp about a newly opened health center. No logo, no tags, no campaign, just new place, clean, dignified, good for our children. Within 2 days, nearly 200 families registered there. Why? Because in Oman, trust is more powerful than advertising. Similarly, Instagram and Snapchat work differently than in the West. Omani influencers often don't show their faces. They use their accounts to share knowledge, stories, reflections. They may have a few hundred followers and still be more influential than an account with tens of thousands of likes. Example, a woman from Nizwa running an account on traditional herbs and cooking, followed by local mothers, neighbors, teachers. She has never used the word sponsored, but the products she cooks with disappear from shelves after each post. In Oman, the most effective influencer is the one who doesn't want to be an influencer, doesn't chase likes, doesn't ask about engagement rate, doesn't calculate. They simply live according to values, and if people see real authenticity, they follow. How to build a campaign with an influencer in Oman. Don't say influencer, say respected person. Choose someone with local authority, even if they have only dozens of followers. Don't ask for product placement. Ask for an honest opinion. Forget contracts like 2 posts and 1 reel. Offer a relationship based on trust and value. Because in Oman, you don't buy visibility. You earn silent approval. People in Oman don't ask who has more followers. They ask who has cleaner intentions. Let's move to outdoor advertising. Meet the Omani billboard. In Oman, outdoor advertising isn't a race for the biggest format. It's a test of maturity, harmony, humility. In cities like Muscat, Salalah, or Sohar, outdoor ads are rare. The number of boards is strictly regulated by municipalities and the Ministry of Information. Are aesthetically integrated into the environment, dominated by light, pastel colors, may not disturb the landscape, skyline, or nearby mosques. Unlike the neon tunnels of Abu Dhabi or Jeddah, here the billboard should look like part of the city, not a foreign body. What's allowed and what isn't. Allowed, colors, beige, green, blue, sand tones, browns. Content, neutral, with references to local culture and family. Graphics, minimalist, static, often symbolic. Language, classical Arabic, Fuchsia, or formal English. Forbidden, loud reds, neon pinks, harsh yellows. Dynamic LED animations, except at airports and trade halls. Exposed bodies, exaggerated expressions, salesy facial acting. Slogans like, last chance, you must have this, call now. Example, a billboard for a local bank. Only 2 lines, trust, for generations. Against a photo of an empty courtyard of a family house. No oversized logo, no phone number, no QR code. And precisely because of that, unforgettable. Other examples of billboards that say more by being quiet. Perfume brand, photo of a clay incense burner, smoke rising upwards. Tagline, smoke knows the way to memory. National airport, photo of an empty sky and a calm sea. Tagline, Oman, you fly here for silence. Women's health campaign. 3 women, each at a different age, in traditional abayas, looking at the horizon. Tagline, care begins with respect. The common thread? No pushiness, no logo covering half the board. Dignity, not domination. In Oman, a billboard isn't just an ad. It's a cultural statement. A business card of a nation saying, we are not shouters. We are not traders of emotions. We are a people of memory, scent, and ritual. And even our advertising prays more quietly than others. It's worth remembering that in Oman, not everyone has to advertise in Dubai. Not advertising means not existing. In Oman, not advertising can be a status symbol. Because if you are known, trusted, recommended by word of mouth, why shout? Some industries deliberately skip advertising, seeing it as unnecessary or even improper. Notaries, lawyers, doctors. Advertising would undermine social trust. Family-run tribal businesses rely purely on reputation. Religious schools and foundations do not promote themselves. Their presence should be obvious. Who does advertise and how? FMCG, but very gently, everyday products like coffee, spices, milk. Example, Mazoon Dairy. A commercial showing children drinking milk at school. No sales pitch, just the line. Strong thanks to what is ours. Perfumes, incense, handicrafts, storytelling, not selling. Amouage never offers discounts, deals, or Black Friday. Instead, poetic campaigns, stories about trees, families, craft, bottle photos against the desert with quotes from Arabic classics. Telecom and banking, subtle presence. Operator commercials don't show phones, apps, or gigabytes. They show family relationships, trust, stability. Banks promote accounts not through numbers, but through presence in the local community. Bank Muscat campaign. An elderly man in a turban says to his grandson, "I opened an account for you. When you grow up, it will be yours." No logo overload, no promo, no rush. Just a scene, pride, ritual. Who benefits from this? In Oman, you don't calculate ROI in clicks. You measure it in word-of-mouth recommendations, the strongest driver of sales, the number of physical visits, the level of trust in business conversations. Does that mean advertising doesn't work? Quite the opposite. Advertising works, but slowly, deeply, on the level of relationships, not attention. In Oman, visibility can never be higher than credibility. The moment you try to push your voice too high, people go quiet. And in that silence, they choose someone else. Takeaway for foreign brands. If you want to operate in Oman, hire local advisors, not an agency from London or Dubai. Don't try to win with a campaign, win with reputation. Instead of promotions, build a relationship with the local community. Instead of slogans, use poetry. Silence, gesture. Because in Oman, advertising is a seal of trust, not just a signature on a contract. And if you know how to present it, it will pay off more than 1 million views. Finally, meet Oman's marketing dictionary. How to speak without sinning. Avoid language that cannot survive empty promises. In Western marketing, we say, the best, unique, revolutionary, exclusive. In Oman, these words sound like an empty tin in a quiet marketplace. They may be taken as boastful, false, even blasphemous. Here, words carry spiritual and social weight. You can't manipulate them. You have to understand them, weigh them, and only use them when needed. What not to say? Best in the country, seen as arrogant and unworthy. Perceived as lack of humility, especially if not validated by society or the state. Guaranteed happiness. Happiness comes from God, not a product. This kind of promise is viewed as immoral and borderline fraudulent. You must have this, or change your life, sounds like psychological pressure in Oman that goes against the culture of humble, rational buying. English slogans like "time to shine," lacking seriousness, too showy, too performance. If not translated into classical Arabic, they may be rejected by the censors. What to say instead? From generations for generations, signals continuity, respect for past and future. For the ones we love, aimed at family and community, emotional without being pushy. Trust matters most, no promises, but it gives the customer room to decide. Born from the land of Oman, local pride, rooted in identity, evoking soil, tradition, nature. Example, local perfume. We offer the most luxurious scent on the market. You cannot say that. This fragrance knows our land and knows our memories. This is a version Omanis will accept. The language of silence. In Oman, the best form of advertising is often saying nothing at all. Some brands use only the founder's name, a photo of a local scene, a single poetic verse. Because silence is also a language, and here they understand that language better than any jingle or voiceover. How do you write a campaign for Oman? Start by talking to a local teacher, not a designer. Check every word with an imam or an elder. Use metaphors, not instructions. Write as if you were writing for your family, not for a client. Don't overdo it. Not with promises, not with length. The language of advertising in Oman is an ethical language. You don't manipulate, you build trust. You don't grab, you give space. You don't boast, you talk about values. Advertising here is not persuasion. It's a reminder of what matters. And remember, if a word has no soul in Oman, it's better it's never spoken at all. In Oman, the winner is not the one who shouts, but the one who is allowed to speak. A small but fundamental difference. In the West, we measure effectiveness by volume and speed. In Oman, it's measured by family approval, neighbors calm, and the silence after watching an ad. That special silence in which no one rolls their eyes. They simply nod. Yes, that's ours. Ads here don't conquer a market. They are admitted to it. Everything starts from a structure older than any marketing textbook. Family, lineage, tribe, neighborhood. If your brand doesn't understand this geometry of trust, it will keep circling the entrance. You can have the most beautiful spot and the highest budget, but the door only opens when someone inside whispers, "Come in, you're welcome." That's why campaigns in Oman are not persuasive. They are acceptable. They don't fight for attention, they earn presence. The Omani customer is not hunting for stimuli. They're looking for reasons. Is this halal? Is it dignified? Will I be proud to recommend it to my cousin? Will my father feel comfortable seeing this ad? These questions change the rules. Instead of buy now, take care of your own. Instead of be first, be faithful. Instead of you deserve more, give thanks for what you have and choose wisely. This language doesn't excite algorithms, but it moves social networks, which in Oman matter more than any ad platform. That's why effective communication takes the shape of a gesture. A scene of 3 generations around one table, a father calling a daughter abroad, a grandmother teaching her granddaughter a recipe. The product is only a prop, the hero is the bond. And here lies the paradox. The less product in the frame, the more of it stays in people's memory. In a culture that values restraint, excess can be an insult. Silence can be a compliment. Oman reminds us that words in advertising have moral weight. If you promise too much, you don't just break an informal contract with the viewer, you strain the reputation of your ambassadors, their families, and sometimes the local community that stood behind you. That's why Omani campaigns are created like rituals, with questions to imams, checking language with teachers, involving real families instead of actors. And one last lesson, for all of us, far beyond Oman. The world is tired of noise. Brands that understand silence can be a message will be ready for the post-click era, the era of trust, presence, and meaning. Oman is not an exotic exception. Oman is a preview. If anything is going to survive in marketing, it won't be tricks. It will be truth, served with humility. If this story brought you value, hit the like button, subscribe, and send this episode to someone who still thinks advertising is just about targeting and budget. And if you want me to keep this series on Oman and community and marketing going, let me know in the comments.